Schmo with the pro, with the president of Bellator, Mr. Scott Coker, representing the San Jose Sharks here at the SAP Center, Bellator 277. How we doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's going to be a big night of fights tomorrow. I can feel the energy. This is a house that loves MMA, and I can feel the energy already starting to build up. I'm excited for tomorrow night.
So much rich history here, but let's talk about the main event. Why was it so important to have the rematch with Pitbull? No tune-up fight, no one else, getting that rematch against AJ McKee.
I mean, that's something he wanted, right? I mean, I'm telling you right now, I was talking to somebody earlier. I said, look, I know Pitbull. I've promoted him for many years, and every time he went to sleep, you know he's thinking about AJ. Every time he wakes up, he's thinking about this kid. And he's making adjustments in his camp to fight AJ a little bit different, have a different outcome, and let's see if it'll work.
And you were standing on stage. You saw them face to face. Do you sense this will be a completely different fight than the first one?
You know what? That's hard to predict because a guy like AJ could take a lot of good things away from you, right? So I'm expecting it's going to be really intense and it's going to be a scrap.
And you're not afraid to have cross-promotional fights. Would you say the number one priority for you, obviously if Chris Cyborg gets the job done, upcoming fight here, that Kayla Harrison, Chris Cyborg's got to be number one priority for a crossover fight for this promotion?
I mean, really, it's like, we have a lot of priorities. We have a lot of, other tournaments we want to hold. We're doing a event at the end of the year with Saki Kibara. But there's a lot of details, business details, that maybe a lot of reporters don't think about when you talk about doing a co-promotion like that, right? So one of them is intellectual property rights. Who owns the rights to the fight after the fight's over? Where does it air? Their network, our network, right? And who pays who? How does that work? I mean, there's, who promotes it? I mean, so it's like a lot of details to work out, and, I'm happy to have a conversation with them, but all I've heard is a bunch of, talking on the social media. No one's called me, so that's all I can say.
Sounds like a lot of red tape and a lot of legal work that not many people are ready to do.
We'll see. But we have, I think we have the lineup of fights that we have over the next 5 weeks. Spectacular, and I'm looking forward to that. And if that call comes and it's, we can take that down the road, we'll see.
And obviously, Gegard Mousasi, he's one of the best fighters, pound for pound, on the planet. Do you think he's done enough to get a title shot at the light heavyweight division to call out the winner of tomorrow evening between Corey Anderson and Nemkov? Has he done enough to deserve that right away?
You know what? I'll tell you, that's not something that that he told me he wants to do. He wants to stay at 85 for a couple more fights. He's fighting Johnny June 24th. Then Tokov is out there if he keeps winning. So he's got 2 or 3 fights, I think, at the 85, and then he did say then he'll jump to 205. And when he goes to 205, he wants to stay there. He goes, I don't want to go back and forth. I want to get to 205, win the belt, and I want to defend it, and that's where he wants to stay.
Earlier today, the Schmo was walking through the hotel. We saw Fedor looking svelte, looking ready to fight, and also Rampage Jackson. Obviously, those two fight. Rampage Jackson, we haven't seen him in a couple of years. Any plans to bring him back into this promotion?
No, I mean, I haven't talked to Rampage probably in a year or maybe a year and a half. So there really is our contract with Rampage is finished. We honored all of our fights. I'm not sure if he still wants to fight, but we're definitely looking for something big for Fedor because to me that's the GOAT, right? And he deserves something massive. And we had such a great event planned in Red Square with Fedor on July 9th. That was the date. It was gonna be a big show. But obviously, because of the current political situation, we pulled the plug on that. So I don't think going back to Russia with Fedor is an option for his last fight. So we're talking internally, what could be amazing, what could be great. We want to do something big because he deserves to have a massive platform for his last event.
One of the faces of this organization over the past decade or so is Iron Michael Chandler. How would you assess his performance so far over in the other promotion, the UFC?
Yeah, listen, I think he's doing great. Michael is a tough kid. He always brought it. I love Michael. We still chat on, text and, we still communicate. So I think that he's doing a good job, and I hope he keeps getting to the point and go get that belt.
And obviously always ready to fight the toughest fighters and saying no to no one in front of him.
That's Michael. Michael will fight you in a phone booth, and intense kid, always in great shape. You know how kind of work that takes to get into that kind of shape. So he is a true MMA fighter, and so, when we said, okay, hey, go over there, do some damage, go win some belts, and good luck, And I still feel the same way. I feel great about him, and I want him to continue to have great success over there.
So the current face of the organization, AJ McKee, the #1 pound-for-pound fighter, you seem to have a great relationship with him. But why was it at Media Day yesterday he said it'd be inevitable that he'd be fighting for a UFC championship one day? He's here in Bellator. He's under contract.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. It's like he's a young kid. Don't hold it against him. That's what I say. And you know what? It's like, when you're a boxer, you want to win the WC and the WBA, and you want to win all these belts, right? And so the way the leagues are organized now is kind of like you have to have one or the other, right? So I'm sure he would love to, have multiple belts, but we feel we're going to have a long career with AJ for many years. And that might have been his dad saying, "Hey, son, just go out there and start yapping a little bit. Let's make some noise,"
Certainly, it runs in the family. Now, here we are. It's April 2022. What's the #1 objective that you have finishing out this year? I guess we're heading into Q2 right now.
Yeah, I mean, right now, we got 5 big fights over the next 5 weeks. International expansion is a big part of our business. You'll see us back in Tokyo before the end of the year, probably right at New Year's Eve with Sakakibara. We will plan now for different events. We will go into Brazil next year at some point and do a live event there. And we're picking different cities that we're still debating inside whether we go to this city or that city. But we are going to pick a couple, 2 or 3 cities that we currently have not promoted in or have not been in ever, and we're going to bring Bellator there. So it's an exciting time because international expansion is going to be a major part of our growth next year.
And Aaron Pico, he's been undefeated since moving to Jackson Wink. Here he is fighting again tomorrow evening. What do you like that you've seen out of him at your featherweight division so far?
I'll tell you, when I first met Aaron in the wrestling, the wrestling program, or he was training for the Olympics, and I've always liked this kid. Always put his nose to the grindstone, never complains, never says no to a fight, and got off to a little bit of a rocky start. But he made a life adjustment, moved out of L.A., got away from a lot of distractions, gets to Winklejohns, starts relearning MMA, and really becoming a student of the game. Because he could already wrestle, he could already punch, right? But you got to put it together, and you got to have the jiu-jitsu, and you got to have the transitions, and you know how it is. It takes more than just 1 or 2. You need to have it all. And so now he's at the point where I think he's there. He's getting to that point where he has it all. So life adjustments, things are cleared out. Now he's living there just to train, right? So that's a commitment on its own. Leave your family, and then now you're in a different city, different environment.
Raising horses on his own.
Yeah, raising horses, and I think he has his own family there now. But when I think about how far that kid's come, this kid, I'm telling you right now, is a dangerous guy still. And don't underestimate Aaron Pico moving forward.
He's got the full package. I want to ask you a hypothetical question. Let's say that you had a fighter. They retired. They were a double champ, and they were also an Olympic gold medalist. They retired. They want to come back. They want to challenge the champion who's up a weight division. Would you allow that, or what would be your decision-making process for what that fighter should be doing next?
Well, why don't you tell me who it is? Who is
Henry Cejudo.
Oh, listen. If Henry was a free agent, because we can't talk about hypotheticals with people that are under contract, but let's say there was a fighter who, with that kind of wrestling, the gold medals, and he was that good of an MMA fighter, if he was a free agent and he was able to come over here, we would sign him in a second and we'd put him right to the test, because he's already done it all, right? What has he not done? He's the guy's still a beast. He's a killer, and unfortunately, he's still under contract, so that's what it is.
So it was just a hypothetical question. Yes. Can we get a final message for all the Scott Coker fans out there worldwide?
When I think about this coming up year, we got 5 fights in 5 weeks, and then 2 of those are going to be in Europe. Paris is going to be great. We were the first ones to launch in Paris, got the first license. We're having an amazing event in Paris, and in London, MVP. You guys know the situation with Amosov. That was very unfortunate. It breaks my heart when I see those pictures of him and his squad and his team, and him diving into the catacombs of his house, being bombed, and trying to get his belt out. I mean, that's a tough one, right? But we have fights we're going to announce probably in the next couple of weeks for the rest of the year. We'll have another 8 to 10 fights, and we're going to have a great lineup for everybody, and you guys can all watch it on Showtime.
He's the pro. I'm the Schmo here at the SAP Center. Bellator 277 all goes down tomorrow evening. We're out. Bye.